Welcome to ALLCAST. This is a Clayfield original podcast. My name is Kathryn, and this is my brother, my guest, and the co-founder and owner of Clayfield. If you didn't know.
That's a lot.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're a man of many talents.
I appreciate that.
Our goal with this podcast is to create an open forum for any and all conversation. Across the board, nothing is taboo. Second goal with this podcast is to sometimes address comments from our audience, which we have not done yet, which I want to do that. We're going to do that soon. Okay. I'm excited. I got some fun ones that I've noticed. As you guys may or may not know, I don't know if you've heard, but tomorrow's Christmas.
Yes.
Yay! I don't know if you guys are aware of the sitch, but tomorrow's Christmas, and I just want to talk about that for a second, because Christmas, for so many people, is such a fun, wonderful time of year where you get to spend time with family and take some time off work and celebrate and give and get gifts and eat and be merry.
Yes, absolutely.
Which we all know this, but
absolutely. That's why I'm wearing my red vest again.
I know, and I love your red vest.
Yeah, I brought the red vest back because it's Christmas Eve. I figured it'd be appropriate to wear it again.
I think so. I think you made a good choice. If you guys think you made a good choice, let us know. If not, I would just leave this video right now.
You can do that. If my red vest deters you that easily, then I suppose the rest of the conversation will not be up to your level. Yeah.
I also wanted to touch base, though, on the fact that for a lot of people, this time of year is really difficult.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that when you were talking about that.
Yeah, it's like...
You said that, like for people, it's a time where people are really able to spend time with their family and give and get. And in my head, I just thought if you're able.
If you're able to. And I wanted to kind of address that. It can be so hard when you have so much going on in your life to make yourself, be happy in this time, and any time, really.
Yeah.
I had a point I was trying to make. So, this time of year can just be very lonely for a lot of people. And I want to kind of talk to those people right now. And just kind of, I know this sounds so cliche, but, they're not alone, right?
Absolutely.
I know that you've had quite a few Christmases where you were by yourself. Yeah,
actually. So, it's interesting you bring it up. I can actually think of multiple Christmases where I was by myself. The worst one I would think is when this was actually just I think a couple of years ago, but I wasn't able to. I had no vehicle at the time. I have no transportation. I have a 2009 Ford F-150, and I love that truck. I'll probably be trading that truck in for something a little bit nicer down the line. But for right now, it's getting me from point A to point
B. And working.
But before I had a vehicle, I had to walk everywhere. Something that a lot of people don't know about me because I don't advertise it. But I used to have to walk to get to work constantly, and at one point, I was walking up to 5 hours a day.
Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah, I remember at one point, at this point, I was only walking an hour and a half daily or something like that. But I had to walk there at 3. I had to leave at 3 in the morning to get there.
That's crazy.
Because I had to be there a little before 4 because I was the assistant manager and I had to open the store.
That's insane.
And the thing about it is where the area in which I lived at night, it got really cold in the winds, and I didn't have the money to buy the proper jacket and to buy the proper equipment, so I was just walking through the cold. So
sucks, man.
It was already a very brutal winter for me, and I was my mindset was already very down and a bit depressed, and I was in the dumps. This was actually right before I produced all of the Interesting People episodes.
I remember.
So I remember, and this is something I haven't addressed in the past, but we released a video called What's New in, I think, 2020, I think it was?
Honestly,
2021? I can't remember which one.
No, we don't remember. We're professionals.
We make so much content. It's crazy. It gets all mixed up. But I made a video saying that we're going to release 7 months of content, and I was never able to fulfill that promise. But right before that period of time, I was so depressed and I was so down the dumps. And when Christmas was coming around, I had no one. I was throwing myself into my work because I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
I managed to scrounge enough money together to get a $200 used MacBook, and everything I was editing off of this MacBook that was going really really slow and just taking its time.
God, the stress.
So like when I hit those moments, I like I've had times when I just was really depressed, but in that worst moment, there was something in me that sort of clicked, and I realized that the only way I would ever truly be happy is if I was pursuing what made me happy.
And that is a great point, and that is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. Is maybe not like the work part, but like your mindset and like how we tend to feel.
Yes.
We feel like so many complex emotions.
Yeah.
Every day. Like we have all these different feelings. It's like a chemical cocktail that's going on in our bodies.
Yeah.
And I know for me personally, well, I've been very fortunate with Christmas. I've always been around family. We've always kind of struggled financially. We've never had like a lot of money, but like I've been very fortunate to be around people and to have. We at least tried to make the most of it.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah. You're not alone, is what you're telling me. You're never like physically alone.
I've been very fortunate. However, despite that, I still at this time of year, I still always feel very, very down.
Yeah.
And stressed out. And I think one of the reasons I feel so stressed out is because there's kind of this unsaid obligation around the holidays for everyone to be all like, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everything's great, I'm so excited for Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
And like I totally get that. I love that.
Yes.
But I've never felt that personally. You know, it's just been like my mindset with that has been like, why can't we try to be more positive like that all the time? Why do we have to come up super high in our emotions and be super happy
at a specific time of
the year? And I have this problem with all holidays, especially my birthday. I've always struggled with my birthday.
Interesting.
Because people would be like nice to me and they'd be getting me things and they'd compliment me and be like, you know, we care about you. But it was like all the other times of the year, it's like, why don't we just like do nice things for each other? Why don't we just compliment each other? Why don't we just kind? You know?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent observation.
That's just kind of my issue with it. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I was talking to somebody, I don't remember, but I was like, I told them that's why I don't like my birthday. And they were like, yeah, why can't people just be like nice? And I was like, I know.
Yeah. There's a general societal expectation to behave certain ways at certain points in time. And I think that's what's really frustrating about it, is that instead of just expressing kindness, generally speaking, people aren't actually being kind. They're faking it to adhere to a certain social status, to a certain social image.
That's a very good way to put that. I think kindness is one of the biggest like currencies. Like we have money and we have time. I consider those currencies. But I think kindness should also be viewed like that whenever we're kind to someone else.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be just at certain times of the year.
Absolutely.
I think that if we all were to demonstrate more kindness and just like gratitude in general, that the world would be a lot better off. I know so many, just to speak fictionally, whenever you see like a villain's origin story,
correct,
for the most part, it's just because like
that's why
they had a villain in their lives.
That's why everyone loved Joker so much, because Joker, like I enjoyed Joker to an extent. I have certain, I have reserved thoughts about Joker, but one very interesting thing about Joker is that you take a man who's just beaten down by society and expected to behave like everything was okay all the time when he was suffering inside, and he was in pain, and he couldn't be honest about that pain, truly be honest about that pain, truly be himself. And that's why in the finale he inspires so much chaos, because it's something that so many people can relate to.
And so many people can relate to. Exactly. I'm a big believer that what we feel and how we think on the inside will change the world, and does change the world on the outside. You know?
It does.
I'm a true believer in that.
If you want to change the world, change yourself.
Now, look in the mirror. Speaking of what is inside, Strangers Inside. We just released episode 3.
Yes.
And we're going to get into that after this brief what is it called? Transmission?
No, intermission.
Intermission.
Yes, intermission.
This is also a mechanic shop if you guys need your transmission. We'll be right back, guys.
Are you ready?
You killed me. You buried me. Right here. I can't be undone.
You're not real. You're a voice in my head. Can you feel it? Your insanity.
I thought this would be different. I thought things would change, but they haven't. I'm still just as guilty as I was before.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to ALLCAST. Thank you for sticking with us.
How you doing?
We're both super excited about Strangers Inside.
Oh,
like,
yes.
unbelievably so. We put in so much work. But before we go into that,
Okay.
I wanted to say one more thing, one point that I don't feel like I really, drove it in hard enough, if you know
Okay.
what I'm saying. I want to talk about gratitude.
Okay.
Gratitude is being appreciative for what we have. Right?
Yes, you're correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
You're making me doubt the definition
I'm
of
following
gratitude.
you. I'm following you. So far, I'm following.
Gratitude is something that everyone can practice, because it's something that we have to practice. We have to teach
Yes.
ourselves to be grateful for something.
Absolutely. It's difficult to be grateful when things don't always go according to plan.
And I know that everybody's lives carry a little chaos,
Yes.
but some of them carry a lot of chaos. And I think the calm of that storm is gratitude.
You're absolutely right.
There's no one. I know stories of homeless people who practice gratitude and end up being the happiest people that you will ever meet.
Yes.
So
Because it's not about what you have, it's about who you are.
Exactly. And gratitude, the way I see it, is gratitude is kind of a peaceful celebration. And I think celebration is a beautiful thing. And while a lot of us are going to be celebrating Christmas tomorrow, I want us to celebrate life. When we celebrate Christmas, what are we celebrating? Are we celebrating the tree? Are we celebrating the gifts? Are we celebrating the people? Are we celebrating the tradition? Or are we just celebrating because we have a reason to?
It's like, that kind of reminds me of Thanksgiving, because I hear it's Thanksgiving, right? It's all about being thankful. But every time I hear people talk about Thanksgiving, it's like, how much food did you eat? And it's like, well, were you thankful for that food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I remember growing up, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of toys.
Yes.
So when we did get stuff, we were so grateful for it, and we didn't take anything for granted.
You're absolutely right.
And I think that's so important. So for anyone who's struggling right now, if you can take even a few minutes right now, when you finish watching this video, to just be grateful for what you have. And
even pause the video right now.
Pause the video and just be
think
grateful
of things
for
you're
what
grateful
you have.
for.
I know me personally, I'm grateful to have a place to live.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Let me put
Absolutely.
it this way. Every person has at least one thing
Yes.
that they can be grateful for.
That's kind of what I was trying to say.
And if you disagree, I don't even know you. I don't even have to hear your argument to disprove that you are incorrect. You can be grateful for the fact that you have oxygen pumping through your lungs. You can be grateful for the fact that you're alive.
What he said. Celebrate your life. All right, on to the fun stuff.
Well, I thought that was fun.
I thought that was kind of fun, but what's even more fun is Strangers Inside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it, man.
Okay.
How much work did we put into that?
A lot.
Would you like to go into more detail?
Well, so we have 3 episodes that we've released. They're now open now. I'm not going to talk about the story or anything really that happens in detail because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. But we didn't have a lot of great equipment to work with. We had the bare minimum to work with. I mean, you were there for all of the shoots. We did not have. So I think I'll just go to like the rupturing, right? The rupturing, we shot the rupturing in the middle of winter. Mm-hmm. We had good like snow suits and stuff like that when we were romping around behind the scenes. But we had, you and I and Harmony at one point had to have wardrobe on in front of the camera. I was exposed the most out of everyone, and she was exposed the second. And then Harmony had just a small shoot, but she was absolutely miserable.
We were all so cold.
Oh god.
The scene. I don't want to spoil anything either, but the scene where Harmony is in, like, the snow, like, you see, like, her face, and she's, like, kind of, like, teared up, and, like, that was just, like, the cold.
That's literally her not just, that was the very end of the shoot for her, and right after that, she went home.
Oh, yeah.
That was literally I think that was one of the last shots.
Also, the trails that were on there, you shoveled.
I forgot about that. I totally forgot. Yes, you can notice it in a few shots. It actually doesn't show up as much as I want to. But the shot, for instance, the shot where my character first wakes up in the dream sequence, in the winter dream sequence, and everything is flashing around him, that square that he's in is a square that I dug out. And then I dug out trails. I think that you helped me some. But I dug out trails that encompass entire trees and went out that snaked out into the terrain so that we could film these massive landscapes and get the shots of my character just walking through the snow and observing all the things, and he actually finds his way to a specific tree. So the scene builds very specifically around kind of a set that I built in the winter snow.
Yeah. And we were freezing, and we were miserable. Like, we were like, yeah, we love doing this, but this sucks.
I enjoyed it.
But when we were done with that shoot, and we all came back, and everybody that was helping us with the shoot, including myself, we had a nice big fireplace in our house, and we were taking off our shoes, and we were getting warm. This guy is back in the back of the house where it's much colder, plugging in the camera, getting all the footage off of it, and editing it, and we're like, this guy is insane. It's freezing.
I wanted to see the footage. I was excited. We shot some of the most amazing performances up to date at the time.
This is true, but I don't even know how you typed in your password.
I moved to once I had my and I don't think you remember, but once I got the SD card into the computer, I did move everything to in front of the fireplace. Okay,
I don't remember that, but I trust you.
Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember. All I remember was editing. That's all I remember.
You were in a daze.
I was just editing. That's all I remember. That's it.
That's all you remember?
That's it. That's really it. I just remember getting home and plugging in the SD card and editing.
It's funny. I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but I remember all the filming we did.
Oh yeah, so much filming. And I know that we were miserable at a lot of our points, but it was really fun to see the scenes come together. I remember that you guys would always be asking me all these questions, and I would just kind of tell you, you just gotta trust me. I don't really have time to explain to you how it all fits together right now. And then when you saw the scene for the first time, you were like, oh, when you saw the whole thing put together, it was like, oh, wow, that makes so much sense. And you saw the build and the climax. So it makes me really happy when people watch. I actually sent the trailer the other day to a friend of mine, and he responded. He goes, it looks really intense. I'm really excited to see it. And I'm just really excited to see the positive response from people, and to see how people see how it's coming together. I'm really happy about that.
I really cannot wait. What's that?
What's that?
The giant gift bag you just put on the table. What is that?
Oh, that?
Yes, that.
Oh, this? Oh,
this whole thing.
Well, that's a gift for you. So I want to establish a tradition.
Oh.
A tradition. So, every Christmas Eve, you're supposed to open one present before the following day. So this is that present for you to open.
I didn't get you anything.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. You're gonna see why it's better that way.
Okay. I promise to act like I love it, even if I don't.
Well,
I believe it'll surprise you and everyone.
It's a notebook.
It's just a notebook.
It's a notebook.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Well, he recently gave me a notebook, and like I keep being like coming back to him and be like, "Thank you so much for this notebook," because I always need a notebook.
That's not the reason I gave you that notebook, though.
Not.
That's not the reason I gave you that notebook is because the greatest gift you can give anyone is the gift of creation. It's the opportunity to make something for themselves. It's the tools and the inspiration and the positivity and the mutual understanding.
Hell yeah.
That is the greatest gift you can give anyone. So if you don't have much to give people this holiday season, you always have you. If you don't think you're special, I'm sorry, but you are.
You are. Wow, that's great, man. A little encouraging bit at the end, and
Absolutely.
I got a free notebook out of it.
That's true.
I will definitely be using this.
That's true.
Getting this back. This
Merry Christmas from me.
Merry Christmas.
And from Clayfield and everyone at Clayfield.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you for watching. Yep, that's it. That's it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.